special meeting of Louisiana Wildlife and Fisheries Commission, July 28th. I'd like Mr. Jimmy to lead us in the pledge. Wall, would you lead us in a prayer?
Father, wow, it is a good morning. We thank you for today. We thank you for your grace, your mercy. I would thank you that we live in a state where we have opportunity to have a voice. If it was in Russia, there would be no voice. There would be no public comment. But we're thankful we live in a country that the soldiers that fought for our freedom to have a voice. Father, we do lift up the department, the officers, enforcement out every day that is out to protect the species of this state. Father, we have a responsibility today, make a determination that affects so many lives. Father, we pray for wisdom and discernment. And Father, we lift up government and also, Father, not just state of Louisiana, but our federal government. As decisions are made every day that affects all of us. Pray, Father, thank you in our lives. In Jesus' name.
Yeah, thank you, Commissioner Wall. Roll call, please.
Kevin Sagrera,
Here.
Andy Brister, he's absent. Andrew Blanchard, Jimmy Martin.
Here.
Gene Reynolds, Jonathan Walker.
Here.
Nathan Wall.
Here.
Mr. Chairman, there are 6 commissioners in attendance today. We have a quorum.
Okay, thank you, Angela. Okay, I need a motion to get approval of the July 28th, 2025 agenda. Motion by Commissioner Blanchard, second by Commissioner Walker. All in favor? Aye, okay. Agenda approved. Okay, Commissioner, special announcement, personal privilege. Anybody have anything before we get started? Hearing none? Okay. Go on to item number 6. Agenda item 6, receive and consider declaration of emergency to open the 2025 fall inshore shrimp season by Peyton Cagle, Marine Fishery Biologist.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Chair, Commission members. Today I'll be presenting information on the fall 2025 fall inshore shrimp season. Typical of what we do before I jump into current data, show you a little bit of information about previous years of landings. This table here shows you Louisiana white shrimp annual landings and value and whole weight. That orange bar, that's your landings. That's associated with the left axis in millions of pounds. The blue is the dockside value, and that is associated with the right axis in millions of dollars. Over the 10-year series, obviously, landings have been fairly stable with every year over 50 million pounds landed of white shrimp. We see the peak there in 2016 at 74 million pounds. Fairly average landings over the past couple of years, with 2021 being at 58 million pounds, 2022, 68, then back down to 58 in 2023. And the low of the time series was in 2024 at 51 million. Dockside value fluctuates a lot. It's really driven on demand and market demand. So, but it's interesting to look over those past several years there. 2021, you see with 58 million pounds landed, but a dockside value of 110 million. Very next year, landings went up 10 million to 68, and dockside value dropped to 100 million. And then the lowest of this time series at 58 million pounds in 2023 landed, dockside value below $50 million. And then this last year, the value went up a little bit to 53 million. Take a little closer look on that, of what's happening. This is your account size on the bottom. Larger shrimp, 0 to 10 is on your left. Small shrimp over hundreds is your far right. The 3 bars you see, gray represents 2022, yellow is 2023, and blue is 2024. And then that red line is the average of those 10 years. So this is price per pound by count size. takeaway here is what I showed you in that previous slide. In 2022, we started seeing that decline in the price. And you see that here in the gray bars with every count size represented below that 10-year average. And then that lowest that we saw, the lowest value in 2023, you can see that here as price dropped even further. And then it's the lowest between the 3 time series for all count sizes between 21, 25, all the way up to 70, 80s. And then we did see that little slight bump in price increase in 2024. So what's impacting some of this? Landings, market value. I mean, we know all of that does, but we obviously can't control economics. So what we can do is look at the fishery. So shrimping effort changes from 2024. So to the far left there, you have 2024 compared to the previous 5 years, previous 10, and then since 2000. So we look at license sales, 2024 license sales down 21% compared to the previous 5 years, 30% compared to 10 years. And over the term since trip tickets have been going since 2000, license sales are down 44%. Fishers that reported landings. So these are actual, if you reported a trip ticket, then you're accounted for. But you can see since 2000, that's down 61%. Trips, again, since 2000, down 58%. So now we'll jump into some recent data. Show you our zones, our basins. In blue there, you have zone 1. That's the Pontchartrain Basin. That's our upper portion, separated upper and lower by the Mr. Go. Yellow, that's zone 2. That includes Barataria, Terrebonne, and Vermilion. And then zone 3 in the reddish pink color, that's your Mermentau, Calcasieu, Sabine. Just where you have some reference when we start talking about the data here. So zone 1, this is work week 29. To understand that work week 29 means data collected the week of July 14th. So a couple of weeks ago already. This is catch per unit effort. So the total number of shrimp that we average per trawl. This is to your right, that's 2025. To the left of it is the previous 10 years. And then that red line is the average of those previous 10 years. So obviously you got a peak here that stands out in 2024. Catch per unit effort is 60. Currently our catch per unit effort is 27 in zone 1, which is just above that long-term average of 25. What's unique in this area is you have such a big nursery ground in the interior marsh that we refer to as interior marsh, which is referring to the Biloxi Marsh. So when we look at this, I mean, you look at the top and the bottom, these size frequency, this shows you the percent of the total by count size. You can see that obviously the size structure is different. So we separate those out. We look at the open water and then we look at Biloxi Marsh separately. And obviously at the top up here for our open water for zone 1, I mean, you're over 6% at 2125s, those 2630s, all the way up to the 8000s, making up between 2 to 4% each. And then you have a tail of still plenty of juveniles that will recruit into the fishery. Down to the bottom, a little different. You see 51% of the total shrimp are between that 450 to 2000. So definitely more small shrimp, less big shrimp in the interior marsh. So again, we remember this data was collected 2 weeks ago now. So we've obviously going to have growth. So we're going to take that data, looking at the average size, we're going to project that data forward. So we're looking at a threshold of when 50% of the available resource gets 100 count or better in size. That's legal. So that's what we're looking at. On the top, you'll see that we cross over in the open waters of zone 1 on July 20th. And then down at the bottom, you see that we don't cross over until the 5th. Now, based on today's meeting, the earliest the season could open would be August 1st. So if you look at the open water for August 1st, that's projecting that 70% of those shrimp will be at 100 count with 40% at 50 count. I'll put that 50 count in there as a reference since, white shrimp, you're typically harvesting larger shrimp. At the bottom down there, The interior marsh, again, we didn't cross the 50% threshold until August 5th. So, you know, that would be delayed if opening was set as far as August 1st. Zone 2, you'll see this says without vermilion. There's a few reasons for that. One, vermilion is a year-round white shrimp fishery. And the other one is vermilion has a nighttime restriction. So I wanted to separate that data out. That way you're looking at two habitat types that are fairly similar within Barataria and Terrebonne versus the open bay of vermilion. So again, work week 29, this is July 14th data. Catch per unit effort, you see good shrimp, good numbers past several years. 2023, catch per unit effort of 40. 2024, we're at 50. And currently we're at 45 compared to that 10-year average of 20. So catch per unit effort is more than twice the 10-year average. So we look at the size structure again for this portion of zone 2 made up of Barataria Terrebonne. Again, you got a nice bimodal distribution with two peaks on that 60-70, another peak down around that 350-400. You obviously see we got good percents of shrimp already from the 3640 all the way up to the legal 800 size. So projecting this forward, we make that 50% crossover at July 22nd. But again, based on today's meeting, the earliest it could open August 1st, that puts you at 73% at 100 count or better, and then 40% at the 50 count. Now we're going to look at zone 2 just for million. Again, work week 29, catch per unit effort, similar to what you saw in the other portion of zone 2 with 2023 data being high at 115. We drop a little bit in 2024, but still above that long-term average at 91. And then our current data, we had a catch per unit effort of 98, and that's compared to the 10-year average of 73. So again, a good number of white shrimp present. Size structure for zone 2 vermilion, again, similar to what you saw over in the other portion of zone 2. You got a lot from the 3640 going to 3%, and then you go above 6% at the 50-60 mark. So good portions of shrimp distributed. And again, I have to remind you, this was taken July 14th that week. The crossover for this, data crossed the 50% threshold at on the 18th of July. But again, with the first being as early as we could open there, you're looking at 67% being 100 count with 45% being 50 count or better. Zone 3, that's our last zone, all the way to the west, vermilion, Mermentau, Calcasieu, Sabine, catch per unit effort, not as much as what we were seeing in some of the other areas, but you see recent trends in 2023, 2024 being down. Our current data, we had a catch per unit effort of 40, which is right at the 10-year average of 41. So more average than being above for this area. Now this obviously is completely different than any other figure we've seen where you sit here and just see one peak. And so between the 111 all the way to the 200, so those three bars, that's 58% of all the shrimp. So you got 58% of the shrimp that are tracking closely in size. So they're going to progress that way, which is why you see that steady increase on the below projection. And with that, you can see that that crossover for the 50% is also on the 20th. By the first, 90% of those shrimp are at 100 count or better. But because you have so many shrimp in one size that crosses, you only have 20% by August 1st that's at a 50 count or better. So based on the data, the biological recommendation of when do we get 50% crossover at that 100 count marketable legal size, the recommendation would be for the portion of zone 1, excluding Biloxi Marsh, to open August 1st, 6 a.m. Biloxi Marsh, as you saw with the crossover, would be on August 5th at 6 a.m. The portion of Zone 2, Bear, Terry, and Terrebonne, would be August 1st at 6 p.m. And this is an industry preference for those areas. And then the portion of Zone 2 that makes up Vermilion and all of Zone 3, that would be also on the 1st at 6 a.m. And with that, I can take any questions.
Peyton, thank you. Thank you for the presentation. It's good information. Any commissioners, have any questions for, Mr. Peyton? Hearing none, we'll move on to public comment. Thank you, Peyton. Okay, we have, Tracy Barrios who would like to come up and speak. And, we'll try to limit, to 3 minutes on the comments, please.
Hello. I'm from Lower Plaquemines. Been shrimping since I was about 6 years old. I'm 63 now. I seen a big decrease in the shrimping industry the last couple years in the August shrimping season, that's for the white shrimp, because of the time that they opened the season up. They opened the season way too early for us down there. Shrimp ain't got time to grow. I can remember when I was a young boy growing up as a child with my family and all my people was fishermen. Always the third Monday of August. Always was written in stone. Now they want to open it up too early. It shows that the shrimp over there towards the west, a little further west around Vermilion Bay and all, they're a little bit, they grow a little quicker. I guess there's less fresh water over there. So the shrimp grow quicker. Down where we got the Mississippi River water coming in the marshes, and shrimp don't grow in that kind of water. So I'm here to stand up for the fishermen from down in Lower Plaquemines, that they need to wait at least to the third Monday of August like they always did. That's all I have to say.
Thank you for your comments. Okay, next we have, Rocky DeTero. Oh, come on, man. I wanted to get you up earlier this time.
Rocky the Charo Seafood. I come in peace. I keep it PG rated too. Look, I'm all about letting shrimp get bigger, more poundage for everybody, more for the boats, more for the dock poundage. Price is a little higher, but the bigger shrimp they get. Look, I respect y'all doing what y'all doing, but y'all not gonna get no respect today from nobody having a decision y'all have to make today. The decision y'all make today is not about going to a bank, what lane I'm gonna get in, what traffic lane I'm gonna get in. I'm in traffic, what lane you gonna get in. Today's decision is very important. And by saying that, it's kind of like respect. And I'm gonna give you a little example of respect. A song, Up All Night to Get Lucky. If I'm up all night to get lucky and I get lucky, I don't respect the girl the next morning. So pretty much, y'all gonna have to give a decision just because of one round of testing. Now, if I got lucky after 2 nights, I respect a little bit better. I would respect y'all decision a little better if we had 2 rounds of testing. Right now, today, at this moment, Peyton has people out testing right now. And tomorrow they'll be finished around noon on perfect conditions, correct, Peyton? All right, he should have that information by Wednesday. And then Thursday, we could have had another meeting, maybe about an early opening. But being here today, we're never gonna know about round 2. And that's very important to know. What is round 2 gonna show us? We're here for round 1 and round 1 only. That's not gonna tell us nothing. So I just got a couple of questions for y'all. Who called for the special meeting today and why? Why? A lot of my fishermen want to know that. Who called for the special meeting and why? And I got one question for Peyton too, after somebody can answer me that one question.
Okay, yeah, we got a call about a special meeting and we had information from our biologists saying that there was a crossover. They reached that we would add the 50% crossover. So that's why we called the special meeting.
Okay, that's respectful. And one question for Peyton. And Peyton, I honor Peyton. I like Peyton. He's done great. When I talked to Peyton the other day, he mentioned a 36 count, like he told me about millimeters. And I'm like, well, talk my language. And he said, well, a 36 count shrimp will grow 10 millimeters per week. So what will it be in 2 weeks? It'd be 22. That's a good size, 21, 25. So Peyton, the question I got for you is, if it grows 10 millimeters per week, and in 2 weeks, that shrimp would have been 22. Well, if you got an 18 count shrimp right next to a 36, where would it be at in 2 weeks on growth? That's my only other question I would have, because I know the big shrimp ain't gonna keep getting much bigger, but if we can get these smaller and medium shrimp a lot more bigger, it's worth a lot more money, a lot more poundage. That's my question, Peyton. Where would that 18 count shrimp be in 2 weeks? If that's okay for that
I
question.
don't know that. Yeah, he doesn't have to answer. I mean,
No.
whatever. It's a, if he's got a system figured out on what he feels they could grow, I think
Right.
it's out there.
I'm just trying to get, I would be more happy knowing that we had 2 rounds of testing. And that would make me be able to swallow the pill a lot better. And I appreciate your time.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. I think Commissioner Wall has a question.
What's that now?
Oh.
Okay, my throat's a little scratchy,
No, you're normally clear with what you trying to get across.
right?
And this morning you confused the hell out of it.
Well,
So don't talk about women.
Okay.
Don't talk about Peyton. What's your recommendation?
my
that you set up
recommendation
there
would
for?
have been to know what round 2.
Okay, we don't have that.
I know we don't. That's why
So then from that point.
I
what's
would have
your
been more
statement?
happy with the 11th. I know people want the 3rd Monday, and I would have been happy with the 11th. That would have give my competition more time to be ready.
Thank you.
It would have given everybody a little bit more time to be ready. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Any other questions? Nope. Thank you.
Okay, thank
Thank
you.
you for your comments. Okay, next we have Brittany Bro. Would like to speak, and she's against the proposal.
Good morning. I'm Brittany Burrow. I'm the chairman for the Louisiana Crab Task Force. I would like to follow up with what Rocky just said on why are we having an emergency meeting? Because I found out about this meeting on Facebook by a shrimp buyer who just recently purchased the new dock that they wanted open. So I went and I checked my emails, and I didn't have anything from Wildlife and Fisheries stating that we were going to have an emergency commission meeting for shrimp. So I tried to give you a call. I left you a message. I haven't heard back from you, but I was able to talk to Patrick, and he informed me that there was not a decision made yet on this meeting today. But this buyer had already put it out there that they were going to have a meeting on Monday, and Friday we were potentially going to have an opening. So I'm here today. We crab and we trawl. For once, the crabbers and most of the trawlers in our area are in agreement that this is too early. Why are we trying to open up to satisfy a dock when all of the fishermen are here asking you to open it up the 3rd Monday, the 11th, anything other than the 1st? I have a group of guys who are missing a day's work to be here to hopefully gain a few extra weeks. We cannot survive on just bringing shrimp to the dock. The fishermen have evolved. We now retail off of boats. This dock does not want these boats retailing, because guess what? All these buyers stop at those boats and don't make it to her dock. This is not about one person. I have to do ethics training every year, and y'all have to do ethics training every year. This is against the code of ethics. Y'all sit on this commission to make an unbiased decision for the entire shrimp industry. Not a shrimp dock, not a crab dock, not any specific dock. It's what's best for our industry. And opening up on a small count shrimp hurts us. Expense is high. you can fill the boat up with small shrimp. But if we don't have any big shrimp to go back and sell to the public, we don't make any money. And if we don't make any money, you put the fishermen out of business. And without the fishermen, you have no docks. So I'm asking, please do not open this up on Friday. Very much respect Peyton. We're good. But just because the biologist says the shrimp are this size, those shrimp might be gone already. We only have one round of testing, like Rocky said. We don't know what's out there right now. Since when do we make a decision on one round of testing? Yeah, we normally have 3 weeks to look off of. This doesn't even give crabbers time to get their cages out the water. Crab docks by Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So we don't have crabbers here today because they had to go past their cages because they haven't worked since Friday. The docks, they're not here because they have to be there. I'm all for what's fair and what's right. And when those shrimp are ready to go, let's go to work. But this is not the time. This is too early. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Any questions? Yeah, next we have Jason Mones.
Pressure, Jason.
Yeah.
My name's Jason Moniz. I'm 17.
Moniz.
I've been working on a boat with my dad since about 3rd grade. And I just ask that we keep this season closed for at least 2 weeks. It's too early. Our shrimp are small. I'm from Delacroix, and they gotta grow a little bit. If we open it now, it's not like our big shrimp are gonna leave, you know. But if we open our season now, we're gonna smoke the little shrimp. We're gonna have no prices, and then we ain't gonna have no big shrimp to catch, you know. I just ask that we keep it closed for a while. All right.
Thank you for your comments. Okay, now we have Amanda Moniz. Let's see.
Good morning. Thank you. That's my son. I'm just going to read what I wrote down so I don't miss any points. Good morning, commissioners. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. My name is Amanda Moniz. I'm an elected official in St. Bernard Parish, and I am a commercial fisherman myself from St. Bernard Parish. I'm here today representing the voices of many local shrimpers who work hard to sustain both our families and coastal economy. Why we need a later opening. Shrimp are too small early in August. Opening the season too early results in undersized shrimp, the so-called popcorn shrimp. They're small shrimp, don't meet the size or the price exceptions for our traditional buyers. Lower dockside prices. Higher fuel and labor costs with smaller returns. Factories may benefit, but fishermen pay the price. We understand that processors want the small shrimp early to fill orders, but the short-term gain shouldn't come at a long-term cost at the working fisherman. When the majority of the shrimp being caught are too small, it means wasteful harvest. Oh, wait, what happened? Economic loss for boat crews, damage to long-term stock sustainability. Shrimp simply need more time to grow. This isn't about stopping shrimping. It's about striking a balance in fair and biologically sound opening that protects shrimp stocks, local fishermen's livelihoods, community seafood culture. We're not asking for a massive shift, just a modest and delay in the opening of the 3rd Monday, even the 2nd Monday of August for St. Bernard Parish. Thank you for your time and for considering the voices of the men and women who make their living on the water. We believe a later opening benefits not just us, but the resources and a long-term sustainability for Louisiana shrimp industry. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Also, everybody will get a chance to talk if they want to talk. The applause, we'll go through everything and we'll hear both sides. We appreciate it. If y'all could keep that down, please. Thank you. Okay, no one had any questions for her? Okay, all right. Next we have Fred Evernhart.
Thank you, guys. You got a hard job, and I respect each and every one of you guys.
Thank you.
I'm Fred Everhart. I'm St. Bernard Parish Council Chair, Council at Large right now, but I'm the chairman every other year. And I represent all the commercial fishermen along with Ms. Monash. She's a council member for District E in St. Bernard Parish. Everything from on the east side of the river is small. And I respect Kate, Peyton. I've been on a boat with them already. You know, I agree with everything he says, but my real data comes from bait wells, live bait wells, bait boats. That's what's catching shrimp. And right now, our bait boats is catching 80-hundreds and our middle grounds, if you want to call it. Biloxi Marsh, they're real small, they're 80-hundreds, 100, over 100 count shrimp. But Ship Channel, Lake Machal, Kalika Bay, Oak River Bay, all them shrimp are still in the 60s, 70s, not a sustainable price. And as Rocky and said, that if we go and open the season up on the 1st and all our boats go out, we're gonna catch all them little shrimp up, and then there's not gonna be any batches for the future for the next several weeks to come. And that's when we make our money, when them shrimp grow. And when they come out, the fronts, we wait for cold fronts. If there's nothing, if we catch them before the cold fronts even start, we're not gonna have nothing for the front, and we're gonna lose all kind of money. We're looking for a shrimp that's over $1 a pound count. Right now, if you open the season up on the 1st, we might get 60 cents, 50 cents. It's just not feasible for us to go out for that. So I've never seen it open this early, and for what reason? You know, you can't answer the question why or who proposed this to the biologist, or maybe Peyton just said he wanted to do that, but because for what reason, I don't know. Everything he explained up here, I think it's the seasons, the data shows it should stay closed, because just because a shrimp is a dock price shrimp that's eligible for the dock, you shouldn't open it, because you should wait for a larger shrimp to get a better price at the dock. Because we can't, if you open this up right now, we based upon in St. Bernard Parish, just about every one of our fishermen can't make enough money at the dock with 21.25s, 26.30s. They got to pedal. And it's okay in the beginning of the season, but after you fill everybody's freezer up in the St. Bernard, we sit on it, and we are forced to sell at the dock, and we're forced just to not shrimp because we can't pay for the fuel or groceries or decades. Think about us before you make this decision. I'm willing to compromise. Instead of the 3rd week in August, put it the 2nd week in August. At least give us 2 more weeks for these shrimp to grow with the temperature of the water and how fast these shrimp are growing. They'll give us a sustainable price. We'll make a better price catching a 21.25 or 26.30, even 36.40. We'll make over $1 a pound where we can go, and we can pedal too, and we don't have to be handcuffed to a dock to sell our shrimp. Just work with us. That's all we ask. And thank y'all all for what y'all do. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you. Thank you for your comments. Oh. All right, let's see. Next, we have Lance Nacio.
Good morning. My name is Lance Nacio. I'm a Shrimp Task Force member. I appreciate the opportunity to speak. Couple things that need to happen is, we don't know what we're working for. The price right now, I guess it all depends on who you are, what you're going to get paid for your shrimp. One of my boats unloaded shrimp last week, 40/50's got $1.10. Another member on the task force that is in favor of the meeting got $1.50 for 36/40's. There's not a 40-cent price difference in the shrimp. And just to give you another example, another fisherman, he unloaded shrimp last week. He got, for 26/30's, he got paid 16/20's. For 36/40's, he got paid 26/30 price. I mean, what is the real price? What are we working on? The May season was a disaster. Leading up to the season, we was looking at 90 cents a pound for 80-hundreds. The day before the season, they put out a price. We got 70 cents a pound. They came back up on it, but after, the first week, they saw what was going on. But I mean, these fishermen, they're struggling. And this August season is going to be a make or break season for the fishermen. They say it's the retailers that want it open. It's not the retailers, it's the fishermen that want it, to stay closed. Because I mean, it's all about survival of the industry. If we work on $1 a pound shrimp or less, we're over. And I mean, I'd just like to see it. If things would have went the way they should have went, we had a shrimp task force meeting on the 6th, y'all would have met on the 7th, the season would have opened on the 11th. Now we have all these issues on the task force we wanted to talk about. The meeting got postponed. So, who knows when we're going to meet next to discuss these issues. And I'm sure y'all are the same way. I mean, all this stuff for calling for an early opening is ridiculous. I mean, the fishermen would like to see a set date and it'd be the 2nd, the 3rd Monday, just something set so we know where we stand. Because right now, I mean, the fishermen are scrambling to try to be ready in case it opens, but we're just hoping that it doesn't open. That's all I have.
Okay. Thank you very much for your comments. Okay, so next we have George Barish. What's that? Okay, take your time. Take your time. You tell me how to say when you get up there. That way I'll know for next time.
God, I'm just messing with you. Good morning. I'm George Barisic,
Barisic.
a commercial shrimp trawler from St. Bernard Parish. I now shrimp exclusively on the east side of the river, predominantly in Lake Borgne and Louisiana Marsh. On behalf of those of us still trying to make a living and run a business in the shrimp industry, I want to thank you for your service to our great state. The decision y'all make here today will affect shrimpers across the whole state with varying opinions on what is the best course of action. It is a fact that the date y'all pick for some will be good and some won't be good. It is for that reason alone that Louisiana Shrimp Association Board voted to let the individual shrimpers, as we are here today, express their own wants and needs when it comes to openings and closings. If this issue would have come up 30 or 40 years ago, some of us have been around that long, this room would have been packed, standing room only. This is actually a pretty good crowd compared to what we usually get. Back then, diesel was 68 cents a gallon. Ice was $12 a ton. Groceries were reasonable. And small shrimp, given the season, would have gotten $1 a pound. Look at the difference in the finances. Not the case today, which means your decision is even more critical. I'm here today speaking for myself and several fellow shrimpers who could not be here themselves today. While it is true that the criteria that the state's biologists use to recommend openings may cross the threshold early, and even has already crossed in some areas, the majority of the shrimpers that have reached out to me would like to see the latest opening possible to give the crop that is coming in, because we got some coming in now, a chance to get up to the system, as well as a chance to grow before we start chasing them down. Because once it opens, they don't grow. It's at this time of the year the shrimp left unmolested grow rapidly. Depending how long we hold it back, they may jump 2 or 3 counts. With the price increase of each count, coupled with the increase in volume, we end up making more money. A smart business decision, plain and simple. Thank you all very much. Open as late as you can.
Thank you very much for your comments. Okay, we have some more cards here that I need to read in. They don't want to talk, but I'm going to read them into the record. Ray Gaspar Jr. Against the proposal. Sean Polkey against the proposal, open 3rd Monday. Kenneth Helmer is in favor of the proposal. Howard Gagnon is in favor of the proposal. Wayne Sheremy is against the proposal. Scott Perrin is against the proposal. Cecil Wack, I can't understand this, and Wattengy possibly is in favor of the proposal. John Meji is against the proposal. Tony is against the proposal. I'm not gonna try that one. Brad Dewey is against the proposal. Mark Boudreau is against the proposal. Ron Orgeron is against the proposal. Kenneth Gadry or Gidry is in favor of the proposal. Donald Gaspar is against the proposal. William Simmons is against the proposal. Terry is against the proposal. Cindy Brown, let's see, I think is in favor of the proposal. John Brown, in favor of the proposal. And Jerry Helmer, in favor of the proposal. And Claudia Helmer, in favor of the proposal. Do you have all of that? Great. Okay, so we have all of that into the record. Does any commissioners have any comments or questions for
Mr.
Peyton,
Chairman.
anything before we do anything?
Mr. Chairman, make a motion that,
Okay, one second. I think Mr. Andrew, you good?
No, I want to,
Mr. Andrew had something he wanted to say also right after
just to
public,
kind of
and then we'll
what's
take the
going on
motion.
right here.
What's that?
Just to explain a little bit so the public can know what's going on before we make the motion right there.
okay, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay, all right. As commissioners up here, it's up to us, in order to listen to the department's recommendations and the public's recommendations and do what we think is fair for everybody involved right here. I just wanted to touch on a couple of items that the way we got here today. The actual ruling on white shrimp, from what I best can find, goes back all the way to 1948, where they had a 68 count law put on white shrimp. Now, 1948 is a long time ago. That's over 50, 60 years ago. So evidently, at that time, that's what a market was 68. In 1984 is when the shrimp count law changed to 100 count law. Now, at best, I've been in the business for 51 years. And in 1984, from what I can understand, the industry was changed to 100 count law to accommodate the cannery business that we had in the state of Louisiana, which we had canneries up in Violet, we had some in the Homer area, and we had some in the Cameron Parish area. These canneries at that time used the small shrimp. So they got the legislation to pass a law where you have to have 100 count shrimp. The department needed to know about it. So Peyton is under law by the legislation to let the commissioners know when the crossover date is for white shrimp. And that's how we got here today. The crossover date was a week ago. So he notified the commission saying, look, the crossover date is here, so we need to let the public know about it. Meaning we don't have to vote on Peyton's recommendation. We can vote on whatever recommendation we choose to vote on. But the only way that law is going to be changed at 100 count is by people that's in this audience and fishermen to go to your legislators and go to them, and y'all come up with an idea of what count y'all want. And I understand the market has changed tremendously over the years, right there. And the fishermen need the larger shrimp in order to make a living. When you look at the Carolinas, they don't fish anything but 26, 30 and larger. but they have sounds where they can keep their shrimp and manage it better than what we have in the coastal Louisiana. Our coastal Louisiana, our passes used to be a half a mile wide. Now they passes are 15 to 20 miles wide. The environment has changed and everything that has changed with that. I don't know how the way that Peyton is set, where they go ahead and do that sampling. I don't know how long that's been, probably 40, 50 years, maybe the same way for that time. But because of our coastline changing and everything right there, we need to look at maybe changing the way we sampling things and to accommodate, the bigger shrimp, because that's what we make our money with. The May season was closed with a marketable white shrimp. 3 weeks after we closed the May season, the white shrimp was already 21, 25 count, and they hit the Gulf. The first 2 depressions that came through, they moved on out. That shrimp went from zone 2, now it's all the way to the western part of the state. And, I'm, not saying now we looking at what I assume is Peyton's looking at the second crop of shrimp that we see, right there. And yes, if we open the season, that's probably on the second crop, not the first crop, but we can't control, that, right, on them seasons, with it. But, with that being said, we need to look at maybe new ways of regulating the shrimp versus the marketability of shrimp, and not stay where we used to be, excuse me, on a 100 count law shrimp, right there. Maybe the fishermen may want to bring it back to where it was in 1942. Let's put a 68 count law on white shrimp. I don't know. It's not for the commission to make that decision. That's up to legislation to make that. And y'all make the legislators do what you have, right there. But other than that, nobody's up here condoning what the department does. But because we probably got the best biological department in the whole United States, period. And they do an excellent job at what they do. We just might have to redefine the way we do it. That's it. And one more thing is, while we were going through this product of change during the first crop of shrimp hitting the marsh up in zone 2, we had all kinds of shrimp boats crossing over the line and fishing illegally, right there. And our Department of Enforcement just needs to take a little step up ahead in order, because right now they're not doing it today, but they do.
We need to bring that to Colonel
To
sitting here
Colonel,
right now.
I
We need to bring it
understand
to the
that.
Colonel and
He'll
get
take
that
care of
taken
it.
care of.
Yep. So other than that, I've said what I had to say, and we'll move on to set the season.
Thank
So,
you,
Mr.
thank you,
Jimmy, it's your
thank you,
turn.
Commissioner Blanchard. I do have one question. I just want to understand that we set the seasons based on biological information and I'm trying to get clarification. Is there a law saying that we have to do it at a certain count? Or is it just based on biological information?
The law is 100 count possession limit. So
Possession limit.
we say when is 50% of that available resource legal, or, if we're still over. So that's our threshold.
All right, thank you. Okay, I'm just getting clarification. If y'all would want to speak, if we had time to speak on that. Peyton, you have anything else?
No, sir.
Any questions from Peyton? Mr. Blanchard?
No, I'm
No,
fine.
I do have a comment.
Okay, comment?
As an industry, I'm self-employed. I've been a shrimper, been a crabber, been a trapper, alligator hunter, and alligator farmer. The mindset of industries is the department is against you. I've been on the other side. I've even used them words before. Okay? They made no recommendations and did not influence us on the decision that's made today. Just information purposes. Some of us didn't meet with them prior to this meeting at 9:30. They gave us clarity to questions that we asked. I shrimped up till I was 40 years old, a lot older than that now. And you have some shrimpers that has longer longevity than myself. Understand they're not against you. You might not agree with the way they do things. Well, you need to have discussions with your shrimp task force that works with the department, or as Mr. Andrews said, your legislators. If you want shit changed, then take action to make it change. We're here today to make a decision with the department understanding their responsibilities, and they implemented their responsibilities. So there was a meeting called because there was a trigger. That trigger was implemented in statute. So we're going to make a decision this morning. Again, might not make everybody happy. We're not here to make everybody happy. We're here to do the right thing for the species and for the commercial industry, but also not just the shrimpers. It's an entire industry. We're striving to take information to make the wisest decision. Ideally, that task force would have met. But they haven't. So we'll make a decision this morning. And I feel that we did that off of seeking the best information possible.
Very good. Thank you, Commissioner Walls. And thank everyone for their comments and all of the emails and everything that was sent in. We see all of that. Everything's been sent to us and we read that and we see it. So believe me, you guys are being heard.
Yes.
One more question. Yeah, the shrimp task force was supposed to meet, but we weren't able to get a quorum together to meet. So the shrimp task force has right now no recommendations on the opening of the season at all.
Very good. Thank you. Mr. Martin.
You know, in the last 3 days, I think I spoke to more shrimpers than I had done in a lot of years. All the way up to the time I got here, and we're not gonna satisfy everybody, but from what I've gathered, there's a happy medium to be found. And I want to make a motion that we open on the 11th. The whole thing.
I second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Martin that we would open on the 11th statewide. Is that correct? Statewide?
Excuse me, Kevin.
And it would be
Peyton raised his hand.
Peyton.
Yes, is that with the same zone 1 at 6 a.m., Bear Terror, Terrebonne 6 p.m., and then Vermilion in zone 3 at 6 a.m.? Okay.
Yes, that would be, that's your motion. Okay. So we have that motion and we have a second by Commissioner Wall. So all in favor of the motion? Any opposed? Okay. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, so let's see, we have any more public comments? Seeing none, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Yeah.
Motion by Mr. Jimmy, second by Commissioner Walls. Meeting adjourned.